Welcome back, everyone. LanceScurv here. Today, I was deep in thought about our culture as melanated people on the planet. And my thoughts narrowed down to music, our music, black music. I know black is a color, and we need to attach ourselves to a land, not to say like everyone else, but what country is black? We have to attach ourselves to a land that we run things and control things and we can call home. That's another topic, but my mind and my thinking is evolving. And in that, I was thinking all day long about music and the impact that music has on our minds, our bodies, and our souls. And to use the term black music, the most powerful music, soul-stirring music on the planet. Everyone knows that. While many may hate us for who we are, and we don't really know who we are, most of us. If we did, we wouldn't carry on the way that we do. But when you see what comes from our souls, the talent, the movement, the spiritual vibe that comes off of every good thing that we do, you will realize that we are special. And it's a shame how the entertainment industry has hijacked our talent for their financial benefit. I think it's a shame. It really is. And it seems like all we just want to do is share our talent and touch people. Or at least back in my time coming up, and I don't want to seem like a dated older man who's stuck in the past, but many will have to admit of the younger folks coming up today that our music decades ago was really banging. And you know, that foundation, the music, reflected love, healing, and culture. Music wasn't just some beat to just move your body to, but it had a cultural memory. See, black music used to be our oral history. We expressed pain, joy, spirituality, and hope. And those songs carried our identity. The blues, the pain that we endured in our struggles globally and especially in America. Anybody can hear us sing the blues, especially from decades ago, and actually feel our pain and frustration. You could feel it. If you're human, HUE-MAN. Many try who are not like us, but they can't get the whole brunt and feeling of those songs from back in the days. And music, it kept us joyous, even in bad times, when we were really Jim Crowed, really downtrodden. It kept us up. It was medicine for the soul. So while we had blues and we would sing the blues, we also had uplifting tunes and songs that undergirded our spirit. They kept us going. and others, and you know what I mean by others, they would look at us in amazement. And I know they said to themselves, how can these people be so happy after all that we are putting them through? It's very, very important to understand that our enemy figured out how music affected us in a powerful way and eventually had to hijack it and use it as a tool against us. But from generations past, we can hear those songs sung by our immediate ancestors. And it talked to us in a special way, more so than any history book can convey. Because once again, Black music was our oral history. And afterward, and even back then, love was the core theme. That's what I grew up on. R&B and soul music centered on longing, romance, respect, and emotional vulnerability. In these aspects of that music, it strengthened relationships. It strengthened it. The longing, the songs that we would sing where we would sing about longing to be with our loved one, longing to be with that person that we were attracted to, longing to hold them, longing to reassure them, longing to hold them close in a warm embrace. And while things changed in how we were affected, it didn't stop our struggle, but it shifted a little bit. We had the civil rights movement, and we made some gains. But then the enemy came at us in different ways. But you know what? We always had each other. There's a song by Dr. Buzzard's original Savannah Band. Weird name for those who don't know it. That was one of my most favorite albums. It came out, I believe, in 1976 when I was 13 years old. I was very mature on a musical level. My taste reached out over many genres of music. Again, I have to say it and give credit to my mother, who was a graduate of the Juilliard School of Music. And if you don't know how monumental that is, Google it. She sung opera, but introduced me to so much music all in between, plus what I heard on the radio. So I can't say my acumen, but my range of what I like can be very strange to other people because they wouldn't expect me to like certain songs. But Dr. Buzzard's original Savannah Band, I played that album and knew every word, every beat, every words to the songs. Oh man. And I would play it over and over. And why I'm bringing that up is because when I said we had each other, there's one line in a song called Hard Times on that album. You need to Google that or put it on YouTube. And toward the end or in the middle somewhere, it said, Lord knows we've got each other, so kiss me hard and long. Ooh, hard times we can get over. Yeah, it was a laid back song that I can envision a man being embraced by his woman and he just worked so hard or been through so much, and she's giving him love and soothing him and encouraging him. But you have to hear the instrumentals. It was so, I'm going to play it tonight. I wish I can play it on this particular video, but you know we'll get a copyright strike and you probably wouldn't even hear the song or even see this presentation of mine. But it took me to, see, I was a little more mature than what my age at the time led on to. I think I was about 13 years old when that came out in '76. But I understood how deep the music can reach. And we all have our songs that touch us in a special way. And if you're a little younger than my 62 years at the time of this recording, you would still have songs that touch you in a special way. You know, it's amazing. And the romance aspect of it, right? Oh, it was a beautiful thing. You felt so romantic to someone who you were attracted to. And me being a young teenager, I had no problem expressing that because these songs had me juiced up. You know my story quite well if you've been around for a while. So I was advanced on the carnal things from a young age. But there was a side of me that was very innocent, respectful, and showed love. You do it just to do it because you cared. I'd write long notes to those who, and I say those, not that it was all at one time, but over the years, on how I felt about them. And it wasn't like I was a hopeless romantic who just fell in love with anybody, and it wasn't always a falling in love. It was appreciation for who they are. Feminine, respectful, tasteful, cordial, no attitudes. I appreciated that so much, not realizing that in our society and in our culture, we were going to lose that for the most part. Relationships are transactional now. Pay me this and I'll lay in the bed with you and perform any act you want. Now, nobody really says that unless that's what it's about, but that's what it's come to. The respect in the music. I mean, you remember the song, Do It, Baby? Do it, do it, do it, do it, yeah, do it, baby. Do it to me, yeah. Tantalizing, so appetizing. You got me hungry for your love. I can't sing, y'all. I don't want to scare you all away. But as a child, when that song came out, I didn't exactly know what they were talking about. So you can go to a party with adults and you can be there playing in the backyard with the other kids who were there, and they may play that song in the basement, and you're in the backyard or just engaging yourself, and you hear the song, and they're just in your mind, they're just telling somebody to do something. Oh yeah, they were doing something, all right. But it was respectful. You can play the music and not look to offend anybody or put something in their mind that they weren't ready for. It was a beautiful time. And I'm not living in the past. I'm reminiscing on what should be now. We dropped the ball, people. We need to bring it back. We need to support independent artists that have that standard, because what they show you and what these other small hats put out and promote of us who are compromised is not the only talent in the world. Come on now. Whether you were raised up in the church or not, you know that every church had several people. You had brothers who could sing, but you always had the sisters who can belt out a tune and make you feel it. But if they don't compromise who they are to get to that point, in the music industry, you'll never hear them. They always have to compromise themselves. Back in the day, you didn't have to have your breasts hanging out to get your song out. Now, I'm a man. I mean, breasts are beautiful. I'll say that in a respectful way and in a carnal way, yes. But come on. You don't have to compromise yourself to get to that point. The joy in the music. We're dancing to the music at a house party. We're just glad to be there, and we're just looking at each other, smiling. Come on now. How many times have you gone to a block party or a house party, right? The block party might not be in your neighborhood. It might be in a neighborhood where you know one person or a family, but you're there because of that family, and now everybody who's there is enjoying themselves. And now you feel like family because it wasn't any hostility in the air at that time. And what about the song, Before I Let Go, doom, 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 doom. Oh, I'm not gonna do it to you, y'all. Strangers now are singing the tune, looking at each other in love. And that's what I saw and witnessed. You want to play the food, baby? Go on in the back there. You get all you want. Total stranger, but the music undergirded our love. Come on now. I'm going to ask, let me get an amen in the comment section if you experienced this. You didn't have to look over your shoulder wondering if there's going to be a shootout, because there was respect and joy and a level of spirituality that surpassed anything that the jackleg preacher could produce, because he wants your tithes. It was love. A brother might step on another brother's foot by mistake, and the brother apologizes, and they embrace each other. Brother, it's all right, don't worry about it. You can't even look at a brother the wrong way. Not that I would want to do that, but when it happens, sometimes it ends up in gunfire and death. What have they put in the music to make us treat each other this way, when the only escape from a hostile world that we had was our fellowship, our culture, our music, our food, and our beautiful sisters? I'm speaking from a man's standpoint, and you would say the beautiful brothers if you were a sister. See? And this was our pit stop. This was like the cell phone that's put on the base to get charged. This is what kept other people wondering how we hold it together with all the antagonistic practices that were done against us. Every time we succeed, the goalpost is moved, but we keep on trucking on. Ain't nothing hold me back. Remember that song, Eddie Kendricks? Keep on trucking, baby. Always these good songs. Neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye. At the end of it, I used to be so sad. I remember I had a transistor radio in my hand, and my mother had went to the supermarket 2 blocks away, and we were walking home, and it was nighttime right there on 134th Street. And I remember hearing this song, and I was so sad at the end when Gladys Knight said in that song, farewell, my love, goodbye, goodbye. I said, oh man, that's so sad. What was I thinking? How was I thinking like that at such a young age? Because this soul, this feeling didn't have a limitation. Oh, you're too young to feel these things or understand. That music taught me so much about how we need to deal with each other. Yes, it spoke on heartbreaks and heartaches and getting cheated on and all of those things, but it was an education, full range education. I mean, we all go to school and we feel safe when we're in elementary school, but every now and then we have to do the fire drill just in case there's a fire. Just in case. Right? Hopefully it never happens. You purchase, and it's mandatory, insurance for your vehicle, just in case you have an accident, so you're covered. Well, that music that we had, that I prefer to listen to in the present time, has so many memories that enhance my spirit to keep me going and makes me realize how much I love my black people, even though y'all can be a pain in my ass sometime, because we have to get it together and it doesn't seem like the majority of us are going there. But I can't help my love and me being who I am from the soul. Like I was telling Brother Art Mobley, who is on the Muslim Street with Malik Aziz, we were speaking about my life after the broadcast. We stayed on. And I was telling him how I grew up in Washington Heights in Harlem, born in the hospital that Malcolm X was wheeled across the street, because where he was shot and assassinated was the Audubon Ballroom. So my root is in all of that time as a little boy. How could I not remember it, and how it impressed me and imprinted my soul? It wasn't just the music, it was the human elements behind it. I'm watching this in real life. While the music played, I'm seeing black people show love to each other. This day and age for me is traumatizing. I have to rope-a-dope so much negativity. You see what I mean? And also with the love songs, the emotional vulnerability. Women who admitted that they loved their man. Men who admitted with no shame that it would break his heart if his woman left him. That he'll always love her. Like in the songs, there were always these pledges of everlasting love, like the song by Carl Carlton. Everlasting love. I can't recall the words right now, but do 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 do. That was the beginning of it. It was cool to love your woman. It was cool to be faithful to your woman. You wanted to show and prove how much you loved her, how much you adored her. Black music, powerful, kept us together. Without black music, it's like wearing a suit that has no thread. Take a few steps and you'll soon be naked, unprotected, and that's where we are now. You can be vulnerable to the one you love, which would strengthen relationships. Now we have to, or we're told, we don't have to, but we're told, oh yes, don't show emotion. She will take advantage of you. You can't show emotion to everybody in this day and age, but there are those women who are mature enough that need you as a man to show love and to show that you need her and you will do anything for her. The love she gives you. And we're not just talking about intercourse. We're talking about heart to heart. The most comfortable place in the whole wide world, especially when you're going through it as a black man, is in the bosom of our sisters. I'm not trying to be lewd, but when that woman holds you and you are so fed up with the outside world and you just feel a little weak and just need to rest a little bit, and she prepares that meal, and you sit on the couch and you place your head, you ate already, and you're half tired, and you just rest your head on her. I said bosom. I didn't say titties. I didn't say breasts. Yes, the bosom is the breast, it is the titty, but we're not thinking that way. We're talking about love and the comfort. And you hear your favorite song, or she knows your music and puts it on, and you damn near fall asleep. And I have to tell this story again. I don't think I have it on this new channel that we made in the last year and a half, but my mother was so caring and loving to my father, so sensitive to his needs, and I saw this. He had his own business, and oftentimes he'd come home late, and his mother, who lived in Jamaica, wasn't doing so well, and she passed away. Now, you know, we didn't have cell phones then, we didn't have social media, and my mother got the call. My father wasn't home yet. And when my father came home, he came home to a wonderful dinner. The TV was playing, but it was on low because they were talking amongst each other. She didn't tell him yet that his mother transitioned. She held it. She didn't want to shock him with this as he came through the door and he couldn't eat his meal and couldn't relax. She let him eat the meal. She ate with him a little bit. They sat on the couch. She put her arms around him. He laid back, laid on her neck, and I guess her bosom. Yes, I can say it, that's my mother. And she was talking about how much of a wonderful mother that my father had. And they talked about different stories of him growing up and how much she appreciated the woman that she is, although she knew she had transitioned. My father was so relaxed, a good meal, little music playing, my mother comforting him. And he was getting so relaxed that soon she knew that he would doze off. So she held him close and let him know how much she knows that he loves his mother and how much his mother loves him. She kissed him on the forehead, continued to hold him, and whispered into his ears that she transitioned, and she held him. She didn't see his face. His face was kind of nestled in her neck and in her bosom. But he was almost sleeping, but very much aware. And she felt the wetness from his tears coming down, and he hugged her, kissed her, shed more tears, and dozed off into the most peaceful sleep. Well, fast forward to November of 1990. I was with my mother, and while I was sitting on the other side of the table after the meal she made for me, my father was very sick, and he was in the hospital. So we all knew. But she gave me some wonderful conversation and told me lots of things that I knew, and dug deep to tell me little stories of what I didn't know growing up and stuff, all of us together and my father. And I know this is about music, but I just had to add this in. She held my hands across the table. I remember exactly what kitchen it was. It was a 2-family house, converted, and we were upstairs. And she held my hands And she stood up and didn't let my hands go, so I stood up too. I felt it. I felt it before she told me. She said, Lance, he transitioned, because we were speaking about him. And I held her in the same neck that caught my father's tears, caught mine, when she told me how gently, in such a gentle style, that he transitioned. And I said, it's okay. I said, I'm here. And we'll continue as a family. It broke her heart that my father passed away. She passed away 4 years after. Usually it happens right after, kind of like that, maybe sooner, but it was 4 years. And so that lets me know that all we have is each other. All we have is our culture. And the music transcends time and space, because there was an Anita Baker song that was playing at the time, and it reminds me of that time when my father passed away. And I'll put the link, or I'll put the video in that, on some of the songs in this video, some of the songs that took me there. There's a song that reminds me when my mother passed away. It takes me back, but it's not just a sad thing. It's a connection thing. And so, like the thread in the suit that we need to keep our suit together, music, soul music, because we have souls. I don't know about anybody else, but we have souls, and it keeps us together. So some diabolical, wicked entity came up with the idea of shifting the frequency and the content and the connectedness that our music brought us, emulating the beats, the tune, the frequency, using some of us against us, using some of us who have talent to turn that talent around so that we can turn on each other. Because music, the enemy understood, is a unifying force. Come on now, block parties, family gatherings, radio shows, use music to bring the community together across generations. Radio was rich in the 70s. So many different programs. You used to be able to call into a radio station and request a tune to be played. They don't do that anymore. You have no choice. Take it or leave it. This is what we're playing. This is what we're artificially engineering to be a big hit. If it's not a big hit, you ain't gonna hear it on the radio. The radio followed the people. If a song was a hit, what was the name of that song? Oh, let me be your rocking chair. Rock you everywhere. Let's get it on. Come to me, baby. Ooh, let me be your rocking chair. It was in the middle 70s, 73, 74, 70, in there somewhere. But you heard that song on the radio 2 years after. 2 years, because the people wanted it. You got to give the people what they want. That was the way it was. In the sense of community, and I always say this, we had the Bill McCreary Report, we had Black News, we had Gil Noble, we had Like It Is, right? Wow. So much rich communication. Black News? You can't say Black News on the TV now. For those who still watch TV, we say black, but you can't say that. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. James Brown. We weren't backing up. We stood our ground with our culture. And it gets hijacked. Ain't that something? But the block parties, y'all. Like I said, you can go to another neighborhood. Nobody had an attitude where this is my hood and you can't be. Who are you? You don't belong here. We embrace new people. Them pretty girls who came from miles away. Wow, I want to talk to her. Who is that? I saw you in the supermarket before and I never saw you again. What's your name? They didn't get any attitude. We talked. She may not even be interested in me, but we talked. And when we see each other a week and a half after that, how you doing? Remember me from the block party? Yeah, how you doing? Where are you going right now? Oh, I'm going to go down to the store and pick up a few things. Listen, I'll come with you. Can I come with you? Well, you know I got a boyfriend. Okay, I don't want to mess. No, I don't want him thinking nothing bad, but I still think you're gorgeous. I'll see you another time. Respect. Not like today. Lots of times I used to drive the bus and hear guys, hey, shorty, what's your name? What's up? You got a boyfriend? Yeah. Where he at? Notice the Ebonics. He's upstate. So how long is his bid? 7 years. How long? How far is he into it? Oh, he did a year so far. So what's up? You need somebody to hold you down? And you know what that means. He just wants to come around and spray the garden on a regular basis if he's not already doing it with other people. All right. So what's your Facebook? What's your Instagram? No more phone numbers now. So can I slide through later on and check you out, see what you got? Ain't that something? Skip right to the carnal. No romance, no respect. No, may I take you out. And if you take these young ladies today out, I'm not demonizing our entire race, but you know what I'm saying. You know what the trend is. You better take them to a 5-star restaurant. You better take them shopping. You better already be making 6 figures. And you will get the cookies, but you better spend a whole lot of money. And anybody can get to that point with them. That's the sad part. Unifying force. Are we unified today? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. And there are many reasons why our brains are bombarded to be diametrically opposed against each other, but music is a big part of it. Spiritual influence. Even if you didn't go to the church and gospel roots infuse music with morality, accountability, and emotional depth. I really can't say that about the church. Now, the church is big business. Like T.D. Jakes said, Jesus is big business. It's about that money. But when you look at the church, and I hate to bring up an unpleasant time of slavery, but back in those days, the church, you didn't have to look over your shoulder as much. And I believe this is why with certain churches, they have church from early morning till late in the evening. Because back in those days, so-called Massa had his representative there, listening to what everybody was saying in the service, making sure there was no revolutionary plan spoken. And I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again for folks who don't really know it. But if you have been to the black church, where they have those very, very enthusiastic worship sessions, and when you would see a man or a woman get up, usually to go and relieve themselves in the restroom, they would put a finger up. They put up one finger. And I always wondered, what was that about? Then I realized that from the days of slavery, there was that one white man sitting up high in the back, and you had to put your finger up. And you can go to the restroom, but you're showing that slave master's representative respect. Ain't that something? And we still do this today. So I urge all of you who are in the church and still doing your thing there, that's your way of worship, put that finger down. Don't do that. That's a sign of subservience. You may think it's respect, but it's not respect to the Lord. It's respect to that white man who's watching you and watching everybody. That's what it is. But that spiritual influence back then when we really needed, because we didn't know if we were going to make it alive till the next week, the way they were killing us and lynching us and raping us and doing all different types of things to us. So the church became a safe haven and we didn't want to let it go. We stayed there. We ate there. You know, Sunday school early in the morning, church service. That's why when we finished the service, we're in the parking lot so long, longer than the service talking, until the evening service comes back. All you do is get something to eat and come back. There's a reason why. But the gospel roots at that time, morality, accountability, and emotional depth. It's a fashion show now. It's a money thing now. It's a status thing now. You can't sit in certain places in certain churches unless you're giving up a certain amount of money and earn your way into being of a higher status. Or you can't sit there. This is saved for sister so-and-so. See? Or brother so-and-so. And there's more fornication and adultery going on in the churches now than there is in the nightclubs the night before on a Saturday night. Go figure. It's like binge purge. Means nothing now. You don't know what you're looking at. You see a shapely woman a little too tall and her hands an Adam's apple too big, it might be a dude. I guarantee that it is. And the church can't say anything about it. The threads are being pulled from our suit. The music is being attacked. Even gospel music is more worldly or just as worldly. We have these people who are stars and with the gospel music and they switching just like women. What happened to the integrity? But the enemy is okay with that because that goes against us. Because like I say all the time, and I hate to use a profane word, but ain't no life coming out no man's asshole, okay? That's not where we come from, okay? So you can unsubscribe and hate on me and click and stop if you want. I won't say any more profanity. I just had to say it. But with music, black music, there was a shift from love and respect, emotional vulnerability, longing, romance, from love to lust, from unity to ego. And it was all about money, catering to the lower desires, commercialization over culture. When major corporations took control of music distribution, lyrics were steered toward profit and not healing. No love, no togetherness, no community. It was those small hats. It was those 1948s. And some of us sold out to their contracts. And then we had gangster rap. Then we had the strippers shaking their behind. Yes, I'm a man. And back in those days when it came out, I knew what was going on, but I kind of liked what I saw when I saw those women shaking. But I didn't like it because I knew it was poison. Poison. Poison beats and visuals, and the videos came out. And I didn't know that this was the beginning of an era that would not stop. It would just get worse and worse and worse. And of course, in those days in the 90s, which I believe it was 89 and 90 when they really hijacked everything, they didn't like rap music then. Rap music was fun. It was really fun when it first came out. It wasn't about shooting anybody. You had the elements that spoke from the streets, but it wasn't hateful. It was telling you reality. But when Public Enemy came out, Fight the Power, Rebel Without a Pause, and they spoke of the realities and taught things to our youngsters and to the oldsters, things they did not know or were taught in school. It raised the consciousness. The enemy could not see that continue. And before all of it fell down, so many rappers got together and made this song. I believe it was in 1988. Self-destruction. We're headed for self-destruction. Remember that? YouTube that. Leave the guns in the crack in the microphone, in the what guns in the crack in the something alone, something. I forget some of the words, but you listen to it. Where we find ourselves is not by chance, and they're using the music against us. Sex replaced romance. Romance is corny to a lot of people these days coming up. Romance? It's just sex now. Songs shifted from courtship and devotion. Courtship and devotion to raw sexual transactions. No commitment, no emotional investment. Our young kids are bombarded with this stuff now. They know more how to navigate in the bedroom than the adults do. I told you the time when I was driving the bus and these girls are evidently coming from, I think it was a Catholic school. These were black girls, like 3 of them. They'd be like about 12, 13 years old. And they were given the intimate details, sharing it with each other. They weren't talking loud, but my ear was like a satellite dish on that bus as I drove it, and all the sound came forward. And they were speaking about their unique techniques when they performed oral sex on their man. 13, 14, and 12 years old, on their man. They bragging about how old the boyfriend was. The older the boyfriend was, the more they bragged about, well, your boyfriend, mine's 26, well, mine's 32. Child, my boyfriend, he's 44. 44? And you about 13 or 14? 32? 26? Unbelievable. And the things that they were saying, they weren't loud, so I couldn't really say anything to them to keep it down. But I could not believe these innocent schoolgirls, what they were doing for a trip to McDonald's, the shopping mall, or just to get a little outfit that they had to hide from the parents because the parents knew that they didn't have any money. And where did you get the money to buy this? Right? The music. Sex replacing romance. The emotional development that is not there because it's a no commitment thing. It's transactional. No emotional investment. It's a raw sexual transaction. I will do this for you if you get this for me. Even if they don't say it that way. That's what it's all about. Ego over community. Lyrics glorify individual gain, flex culture, and personal wealth instead of togetherness or collective progress. Now listen now. Glorifying individual gain. I got mine, you got to get yours. Where's the community in that? Or you know a brother who's looking for a job and you have one and you find out on your job that they're hiring and you don't tell that brother. Ego over community. Flex culture. You attach your worth, your self-worth to material items. So you get this brand new vehicle and you driving around past the bus stop where you know there are people who want to get a car, but right now they can't afford it, but you're flexing on them as though you're better. Personal wealth. Flexing in front of people and bragging about how much you make. Instead of saying something, hey, if you got wealth or enough riches, why don't you set something up where they can make a little money? Why don't we think like those of us who used to think about giving back to the community? I mean, hell, we know drug dealers back in the day. They weren't doing anything good for the community, selling drugs to the very people in the same community. But even they would give back. Thanksgiving, they give food. If there was an old grandmother who was struggling, he'd go and take care of her, pay her rent, fill up her refrigerator. I'm not saying what he did was right, but you had drug dealers who would do something to negate the effects of what they were doing, and now you got people walking in and out of a church, saved and sanctified, wouldn't do a damn thing for you if you were in need. Think about that. Think about that. It's just sickening. The death of the bridge and harmony. Music is now intentionally simplified. Melodies and harmonics that evoked emotion are removed. See? They don't want you feeling emotional in a loving way, in a unified way to your sisters and brothers. The music is simplified, reduced, doesn't make you feel anything. It doesn't rouse emotions to love your fellow man, to love your woman. Now, when I say love your fellow man, I mean love righteously now. Don't take that the wrong way and think I'm trying to push some rainbow stuff. Let's clean that up real quick. Sense of community. These days, in your community, you don't even know anybody as much as we used to know them back in the 70s. I mean, that was my heyday as a teenager, coming up, young teenager, into the 80s, because I turned 20 in 1983. So I was aware from single digit ages how things were, but I knew on my block growing up on 134th Street in Queens, New York, even though I was born in Manhattan, every single household, I knew the inside of it. I knew the parents or the parent. I knew what they did for a living. Not about being nosy. We were just unified. The block parties, the playing at each other's house or yard, doing homework together. Somebody gets locked out. They forgot their keys. They could always come over by me or about 10 other people in the block where it was safe. We knew. So the togetherness is gone out of the music. The music kept you feeling at home. Haven't you gone somewhere, or maybe you were traveling somewhere, another state, another country, just say another state, and there are people you don't know. You might be standing on a bus stop or in the line at the supermarket checkout line, and all of a sudden you hear a song, maybe outside in the parking lot is playing kind of loud, and it's a song, a classic song that you love so much, and the person in front of you starts moving their head, and you start moving your head, and you're thinking about your wonderful memories, and that person sees you out the corner of the eye, and they look at you and smile. You don't even know this person, but you are connected to them through the music and through the culture. And now there's an endearing feeling. This person goes out to the parking lot to put their groceries in, and miraculously you're parked next to them. And now you start talking. And you're standing there for a good little while talking about life, about different things, and you agree, and you realize you're kindred spirits. You exchange numbers. And this becomes a lifelong friend because of the music and the connectedness through the music. Isn't it a beautiful thing? Wonderful. Glorification of dysfunction is what's going on these days. See, we spoke about our pain with the blues, but it's glorified now. Pain, heartbreak, emotional damage, and toxic relationships are normalized as entertainment. It's normalized. The blues, we're crying it out. We're in pain. We want to go back to normal. We want to go back to love. We want to go back. Why do we have to go through this type thing? But now, through the music, and I would say through video, right? Because they play music videos and they have music on the video, so it's all one thing. The sensory stimulation. And we see images on YouTube and other social media platforms of us at our lowest. The ratchet fights. This has been going on for the last 20 years. Ever since social media, aside from YouTube, picked up the ability to have video, you see us fighting each other, cussing each other, having all types of colored wigs on and heavy makeup and eyelashes that look like electrical tape and pushing this stuff on you, obese and thinking you look good, but you like 2 donuts away in a bucket of chicken away from a heart attack, and this is glorified. Cheating is glorified. Oh, he my side piece. He my side man. Not all of us live this way, but this is how other people see us. And the songs. There ain't nothing wrong between a man and a woman, what they do in their bedroom. If they consent to it and they love each other and they want to do it, it's fine with the Creator. But why is something so sacred now looked at as something so bad? Because people are abusing it. It's transactional, no emotion, no commitment, and the music is backing this up. Backing it up. What happened? What happened to us to let some other people who want to see us destroyed while they profit? We fuel so many systems and don't realize it. The prisons filled up when certain types of music came out. Weaponized, gangster rap. Many men didn't desire to be a good man for their woman, a good man for their family, and a good man for their community. No, I'm gonna be a gangbanger. I'm selling drugs. I'm gonna shoot you or what, man? Come on. The system is hurting you, and you want to get your satisfaction from destroying your own, and you don't even see it. And half you out here who call yourself gangsters, you wouldn't go at your real enemy like that now, would you? Stuff jumping off, we don't see you. Well, first of all, you have to have it in your mind, and your mind has been hijacked. Carnal, and that's it. But glorification of dysfunction. See, it's too much. The external control of a black cultural asset. Ownership lost. Black people may be the face of the music, but the writing, publishing, and distribution are controlled by outsiders. Okay? I was surprised to hear there was a song, I think it was back out in 2005, 2004. Who made this song? Couple little rappers from Atlanta. And it didn't have any significance, but it stuck in your head. And the song was called Knuck If You Buck. Knuck if you buck, knuck if you buck, knuck if you buck, knuck, 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 knuck if you buck. And they had people rapping over it. But I remember when I was working in the jail, many who were incarcerated there who didn't like certain things, or if they didn't have their way, they would start to sing this song, Knuck if you buck. So you're gonna knuckle up if you buck us. It was catchy. But ain't nothing to it. It was you could tell that, that wasn't going to last for so long. The younger kids they liked it. But you know what? I saw one of the young ladies who rapped on it on the Breakfast Club, and then one of the brothers who was in the group too, they admitted that I think they got like $5,000 for the song. There was more to it than that. There could have been more money exchanged, but it was after a while, it was like they pretty much got crumbs. But they were known by everybody though. But see that? The writing, publishing, distribution are controlled by outsiders. And that's where you're getting the money. And the rights. There are also many demonic and anti-spiritual elements to the music today. It's intentionally dark, repetitive frequencies designed to weaken spiritual awareness and emotional balance. Some of these songs, I'm not just going to say rap. It could be other types, but in the rap, the music that's aimed toward younger folks, which I listen to rap, and I'm not young anymore. But if you allow this to take over your mind and you don't have the spiritual grounding, it'll have you wanting to go outside when you have a little problem in your personal life and go shoot somebody, or ready to jump and fight somebody. We all have challenges, and I hate to say the word problems. I just said it so that you'll understand where I'm coming from. But instead of music that will help us to work it out or give us the answer or de-stress us, de-escalate the tension, instead of that, we have music that takes us to the edge. See? It takes us to the edge. And it's just now a thing that is not bringing us together in a good way. And many of us wake up too late and we realize what it was, that our minds have been hijacked. And of course, you know how they say that they chant over the music, they pray over the music, they put spells over the music. I feel that's true. It's a whole different feel now. Especially some of our brothers and our sisters, it's like they're demonically possessed. There's not nothing wholesome about that. Back in the day, before I let go, doom, doom, doom. What happened to that? It's gone. And it's by design. And it seems like it was just the other day, but this is 2025 going into 2026. Come on now. 2025, 2015, 2005, 1995, decades. 1989 and 90, right around that time. They have been working on us for a very long time, and we don't see it. Music is powerful, and it's weaponized against the black mind. No doubt. I'm saying it. I don't care who don't like it. These videos I do get less and less hits. I don't care. Maybe it's getting more than that's showing me, but you're not going to discourage me. This video will probably be the first one to get a negative rating, meaning that instead of 12 hits or 16, hits, I'll get negative 250. This video was seen negative 250 times because certain people don't like this type of content. And I'm an old head. I go back. You can't lie to me and make me say something I don't know about, because I know about this thing. I lived this. I lived as a black man all my life in America. And of course, I'm in Ghana, West Africa right now. And that pissed a lot of them enemies off too. We can't have him popular. He might inspire other people to leave. We need them here to use as tools, entertainment, and kinky sex. That's what it is. They don't like it. Also, as we all know, if there's anybody who doesn't know this, that the present day music is responsible for the destruction of the black male image. You see, R&B once uplifted the romantic black man. Now music portrays men as detached, hypersexual, or violent. Our own sisters don't even trust us no more for the most part. They got to be careful now. But remember the romantic black man? Even the heroic black man. Who is the man who would risk his neck for his brother man? Shaft. I play that every day. I found a long 18-minute version of Shaft, and they kept playing that part. Oh, after, that little gap in there, little 2-minute gap, it'll go right back to that part. Shut your mouth. We're talking about Shaft. That's what I heard. He's a complicated man. But no one understands him like his woman. Even in that song, you see a bond. We have black brothers like that in our community. We don't need no police. We police ourselves. We have so many brothers wanting to be sisters and wear dresses and confused and messed up by design. Also, the feminine disconnected. Black women in music are encouraged to promote sexual empowerment devoid of love, softness, or partnership. Ooh, those 3 words together: love, softness, and partnership. Building together, loving together, softness. Not somebody who is an antagonist or trying to compete with you. You both have the same goal, but you each have your own role in this partnership. I can't be you, woman. You can't. And me as a man, I shouldn't try to be you, and you shouldn't try to be me. And we're attacked from all levels. They give you the jobs in corporate America. They give you the loans for the business. And you look at us like we're nothing. And they know that. Now, there are a lot of brothers out there that are knuckleheads, I admit that. But what I'm saying is that there are also a lot of good brothers out here. A whole lot. But too many of our sisters feel that they have to be ready-made. You have to be making 6 figures. You better have a mansion already. You better not have any kids. You better have several cars, and I can just walk on in and take control of everything. No, you got to build with the brother. And yes, if you meet somebody who has a little something and y'all get along, then fine. But what kind of demand is that on the good brothers who are going places? And while you ran with the guy who used you and you turned your back on that hard-working brother, decades go by and you find yourself at an older age, and that brother you ignored or thought didn't have it going on, he worked his behind off and had discipline, and all the while he just wanted a good woman by his side in a partnership, in a committed relationship. But the music doesn't reflect that anymore. So we have to listen to the old music from back in the day. I had no problem with that. Ooh, baby, baby. Oh, girl, I'll be in trouble if you left me now. Vulnerability. I'll be in trouble if you left me now. In this day and time, let the BITCH go. I'll find me another one. She don't give me no good head anyway. You see what I mean? What a difference. This is why we have to teach our sons and daughters the right way. Because the frequencies going through the airwaves and going through the videos online, trying to appeal to basic carnal urges and desires, of course, when the hormones start hitting you, that's hard to ignore. But don't let it become guided by a demonic people who have taken over our culture. No way. We can't let that happen. The profit-driven social engineering. Record labels promote artists who reinforce division, lust, and self-destruction because it keeps us consuming but never healing. We're still healing as a people. but it keeps us consuming. Look, a P. Diddy, a Puff Daddy, this is 2025. That joker was around in the entertainment industry from 30 years ago. Time is moving on. It wasn't just yesterday. He had people around him from back then. He'd been doing dirt for a long time. The music industry. Somebody had to know something, but they were down with it. Ain't nothing righteous came out of that man's associations and creations and parties, and it's well documented. Music is now a weapon. From soundtrack to spell. Music is not just reflecting society anymore. We know that. It's shaping it, teaching the youth how to think, feel, and love. And how is that? Love these days, it's a whole different world and word than it was back in the day. Oh, you have some songs that talk about love, but in a very toxic way. See? It's shaping us, shaping our minds. Not mine. My mold is already hardened. I ain't changing. There's nothing going to influence me to be so degraded. Desensitization to sacred institutions, marriage, commitment, raising children, once celebrated in music, are now mocked or seen as weakness. We don't congratulate each other on the successes of our marriages and relationships and family ties. You love a woman these days and you give her your all. When she's worthy, you get called a simp. You get called weak. Because you're supposed to have at least 5 or 6 women out there on rotation. And what do you think? They got 5 or 6 brothers on rotation. That's why HIV is going crazy like it is. Killer diseases. Other ones too. New names. New diseases. More lust in the music and videos. You don't have to watch porn now. Just watch some of the music videos. Drive down the street past a nightclub now and look at the dresses that our sisters are wearing. What they wear now looks like the outfits that the prostitutes used to wear out in the street when they were walking the street. I'm not putting the sisters down. I'm just telling it like it is, because many of you know that. And you know those who go out like that you want to entice a man on a sexual level to catch his eye, and there's so many other women doing that. And with so many options, do you think that he's going to settle down just with you just because of that? That's the danger. See, true love and commitment, as inspired through the music back in the day, gave you blinders, and you wanted to have blinders. What do I mean by that? Well, you see a horse, galloping down, not galloping, but just being controlled and, pulling a little buggy with people in it or whatever. And it has these 2 little cups on the side of the eye so it doesn't see anything sideways, to shock it, to scare it, to make it jump abruptly and hurt somebody. And this is something that my dear friend Kelly Rasa Everts told me. And you can hear the interview on LanceScurvX.com. She was a very famous adult entertainer that was a very close friend of mine. Starting back from the 80s. She transitioned. And I placed that interview back up. But she told me this. She says, true love is supposed to give you blinders. You don't want to see anybody else. Can you imagine that? In this day and time, most people are with people, but they're eyeballing the next person. You got your woman, but look at her over there. And where does that come from? Not having blinders. See, let's just put it this way without getting too lewd. First of all, you love the person you're with, okay? You love them. Let's just make like it's back in the 70s, you love the person you're with. But these days, it's different. There's so much promotion on having multiple partners, and this one can do this better, and that one has a better this and better that. Buddy, it never ends. Come on now. You see the young guys, and even some grown men, they won't show you that side, but they see a woman walking down the street in a tight dress or some tight jeans. Hey man, damn, look at that girl over there. Even dudes that don't even know each other, they know they want to look. They're women around. They look at each other, start smirking. Man, look at that, right? Yeah, brother, I'll tell you something, man. That's the best ass I ever seen. But didn't you say that to yourself yesterday or somebody else? Every day you seeing the best ass, and then what? You'll never settle because you don't have blinders. Your woman is supposed to, we're talking carnal, but we're talking deep too. Your woman, I don't care if she's flat, if she's skinny, you love her, you're with her, you're into her. Her ass is supposed to be the best ass you ever seen. But the blinders are off. And so you're thinking now, all of this porn, all of this temptation in the media. Well, if this feels good with this one, maybe if I go over there and she can do it different. You just give up on life. Give up on life. Because the day you put in the ground, there's going to be a chick at your funeral with a nice ass. What you going to do? Come out the ground? That's a hunger that is literal torture and destructive to what you have, because you window shopping all the time and you ain't never really settling in. And the music videos and the music and these girls on there talking about what they can do, and you're gone. You a crackhead. And the same goes for women too. Well, if his thing is 5 inches and it feel that good, yeah, I saw this movie. This guy had 8.5. I wonder how that feels. You see what I mean? And you're going down a slippery slope. And music is one of the easiest ways to start putting stuff into your head. Remember that song, the Whisper song, but it come out in about 20 years ago. Doom, 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 doom. Where do you see my dick? Where do you see my dick? I'm gonna beat that. I like the beat. But see, they put these slick beats that are very attractive. But you have to open your mind when you hear the beat to receive the poison lyrics. See? It's an accelerant. The beats and the music are an accelerant for the poison lyrics to hit your subconscious mind. Where do you see my dick? Okay, that's all you got to offer, brother. Can you secure the woman? Can you give her a happy life? After you get on top of her and do what you do, and then what? The lights are off because the bills weren't paid. Can your dick pay the bills? Let's just be real. And for you foolish women who that's all it is, get a little older and see. Especially when he'll be somewhere else saying the same whisper song in some other woman's ear. And you look around and you find yourself old and you wasted lots of years. And trust me, you do not want to do that. You don't want to do that. It's crazy. Mental and emotional manipulation. Lyrics are repetitively engineered to bypass conscious thought and program identity and desire. It bypasses the conscious thought. The conscious thought is supposed to be a filter that sorts out what you accept in your mind or not. Like a little kid that walks home from school with other kids who were raised in a bad way. You all go into the candy store, you're heading home, but those other kids don't have any money. And you have a little bit, and you all go into the store. You're young, 8, 9 years old, and you see one of those other little kids take some of the candy and put it in their pocket and don't pay for it. And you now, being raised a certain way as a child, you have a certain conscious thought to know that that's bad, and you don't want to hang out with them anymore. So what happened if you didn't have that filter of a conscious thought? Then what? You're going to end up doing the things that they do. Like they say, you want to know a person? Show me their friends. See me now, at this particular age group that I'm in, I'm an official recluse. I'll say it this way, like the joke I heard the other day. I'm a people person, but the people messed it up. No, I'm still a people person, but I'm not a fool. Your spirit, your intentions, what you're all about has to be vetted. I will not waste time with people whose intentions on my life I do not know. I protect my energy, and I have an overabundance of energy for me and all who are good in my life. But you ain't just getting it by walking up with a smile and a couple of good words. I've been through enough, and I'm on the upswing now, and I'll be back on track, which I am, and I'm very excited about this particular point in my life because people have shown their ass to me, but that's a blessing because you can't get this no more unless you happen to be of a higher standard and vetted. And you know what? Vet me too. See? You have to. You have to do this. But you see, that conscious thought, if it's bypassed, you'll find yourself doing all kind of things. And the young kids whose minds are not formed completely, who hear these lyrics, they may not act up in front of you as a parent, but it's in them because their peers are doing it. And many times you'll be shocked when you overhear your child saying something or acting a certain way, and you say to yourself, I didn't teach him that. You go up to the school and talk to the teachers. That's not the kind of thing we do in our home. But that's what they said. They're getting it from their peers and the music and the culture, which makes all things evil and decadent fair seeming. It bypasses conscious thought. This is why you have to reinforce conscious thought into your children. You have to. Broken generational connection. Elders and youth no longer share musical bonds. The bridge between generations has been intentionally destroyed. There's songs that I play that I know my mother loved. It could be some disco music or R&B or some soul. There's certain songs I remember my father dancing to and laughing, and I see my parents dancing and laughing. Songs that I play to this day. Wow. What's the Stevie Wonder song? It's just a subconscious thought. It's a song that it says, you haven't done nothing. Do 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 wop. Do do wop. I remember that. It was playing on the radio. This was back in the 70s. And there was a restaurant that my father maintained the floors when he wasn't doing the landmark stuff. And he had the knee pads on, and he's muscular and short. He's short, got built like Mike Tyson, tattoos and all. And he was walking up ahead of me and walking up every second step and hold on to the railings, but the way he was walking up was to the beat of the music, and he was in front of me. That song always reminds me of that. So when we speak about broken generational connections, in this day and age where elders and youth no longer share musical bonds, that was a musical bond. Because every time I heard that song, my daddy, remember that song? Because I told him. It was at Orsini's restaurant on 56th Street, between 5th and 6th Avenues in Manhattan in the 70s. He maintained three of the restaurants there. Orsini's, next door to that was Le Champignon, a French restaurant, and next to that was the Two Bears. It was a Russian restaurant. We knew the owners, dealt business with them. I can go in there and get any food I want. That's from a long time ago. This is why I'm made the way that I am. That's not bragging. I'm just telling you, I've been exposed to a lot. And that's why I get hated on a lot too. But I'm still down to earth. But I know what I'm looking at because I've been around. I might be 62, but it's more like I'm closer to 90. Seriously. I was awakened. I kind of hate the term woke. It sounds like, woke. I was awakened from a very young age. I wasn't even ever asleep. But I had reality fed to me in dosages that I can take. I absorbed it. And this is why I'm a realist and I see things as they are. You have to. But what's the remedy? Can we take it back? It'd be kind of hard to do so. But one road to doing this is through independent creation and ownership. The future depends on artists who control their own platforms and distribution, not relying on these small hat corporations. But we have to be ready to support them. Because these corporations can make anybody appear to be a star. They have deep pockets, put up all the billboards with this weirdo person who they're trying to create into a star. You turn on the TV, the computer, talk shows they get interviewed on. How'd they get there? They're being pushed until you believe that, they must be, they're famous and they have them with other stars. And it's a small pool that they manipulate. And now you're supporting them with their no talent self. And they're good for a little while and they're gone, unless they're deep in it. And they'll stay there on top in that world for 20 and 30 years. They ain't that good. You mean they're the only ones that have talent? Look up and look out for the independent artists. See? You have to. That's our future depends on that. And artists that give us what we need. Healing music, loving music, music that undergirds a righteous, growing and strong, spiritually based culture. We can have fun. We can say things with some double meanings, just like back in the day. I remember the song Pillow Talk. That was a hot song. Sylvia Robinson, Sylvia. Do 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 do. I. Woo. Don't wanna be no fool. What I'm teaching you tonight, you'll never learn it in school. And she wasn't naked. She wasn't gyrating. But boy, that was a sexy woman. Wow, she came on Soul Train one time. I couldn't take my eyes off of her. I used to love that song. Sylvia. But she was beautiful. And she didn't step out of line. She moaned and groaned. That wasn't a crime. If you knew what that meant, then you knew what it meant. If not, it was just, well, she moaning and groaning. I mean, Donna Summer came out with Love to Love You Baby. Now that was, hot for the time. That wouldn't get any attention now. She'd have to be naked doing that, like a live cam girl, okay? But we got to rebuild the music with purpose. We got to return to love, spirituality, storytelling, cultural pride. Music must once again be medicine, not poison. Medicine, y'all, not poison. Isn't that something? But we may not control the mainstream industry, but we still control our spirit. The healing begins when we choose what we listen to, what we promote, and what we support, if the music has been weaponized against us, then we must become the antidote. I hope you enjoyed my expressions and were inspired by it. Of course, I always infuse these little talks with personal stories. And really and truly, as I look at the world the way it is now, we don't even know what we're looking at when we look at a video now. Right? I saw a video of, I hate to call her queen, Queen Elizabeth in the street eating some oxtail from a street vendor. And she pulled out a pistol with blanks and shot it up in the air. It looks so real. I saw another one of Muhammad Ali dancing down the Soul Train line. He never was on Soul Train dancing. Looked just like him. So can you imagine how effective the attacks will be on the young children who don't know the difference? How they will blur the history, our culture, because of the visuals that AI creates? And those programs are getting more and more effective in how good it looks. We can tell, but it's harder and harder to tell so fast. So in 5 years, what do you think it's going to look like? If they want to say, oh, let's have a movie clip, something we can put up on YouTube of showing Malcolm X as a gay man. You see what I mean? And what would that do to the perception of the children who need to know the real history, what he stood for? And I'm just using him as an example, right? They can take our people that we know are the truth and turn it around into something else where they're no more than a minstrel man, showing them to be something that they're not. Or they plan on doing some wicked things to our children's minds, and they will erase the effectiveness of the struggle that we have been in all this time. So we have to support independent artists. It's like when you go into the supermarket or the market and you read the label on a package to make sure that there's nothing bad in there for you, that it's all good stuff, ingredients that will bring you to a higher level of living and good health. Understand the correlation between our music and how decadent we are, how mentally and emotionally unstable we are, taking the blinders off, pulling us in all kind of directions, and our youngsters identify with this filth. And if they wake up to reject it, how many years will they have wasted? How hard it is to get back on track in this world the way it is. And we can say the usual, well, time flies. Well, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, yes, it's going to appear to fly. We weren't made to be endlessly entertained. We have to improve ourselves. So with each passing year, we're a better version of ourselves. That way you never feel old, because you have something to show for it. A deeper understanding and a higher level of wisdom. Look, I can go out on the corner now. If I came back to America, went to New York or went to Orlando, places I've lived a few other places, and go on the corner and the brother's talking some low-level stuff, I could jump right on in and tell dirty jokes with the best of them and have them laugh. Man, you something else, man. You crazy. Oh, man. Y'all know that. You know I have that side. But that's not a book that I have to always pull off the shelf in my personal library. See? when I worked in the jail and the prison. Lots of times with certain ones who were incarcerated, the only language they understood was profanity. Now, I wouldn't shock your ears by using the same words that other people use, but I can cuss with the best of them. But how will people look at me that don't know me? Right? There's one guy who was locked up. I said, listen, I'll cuss you out so bad you're going to cry. And he did. He did. I didn't want to do it, but but my vocabulary is far more vast than that. But you have to know how to reach people where they are in a healing way, not to destroy them. And the music industry is not about healing us. It's about destroying us. Well, listen, I'm going to retire now. And tomorrow's another day, and we're going to talk about some things that we need to talk about. And we're going to make it fun. Going to make it interesting. But we need to focus on the things that help us to heal and remove those things that are keeping us in those dark places. So just know that I love you all. Make sure to go to LanceScurvX.com, LanceScurvX, and you can join with your email. There's no price. There's no fee. If you want to support their ways to do so there, but it's not necessary. All of my work will be there. Everything I do is there. And things from the past are still being added. It's foolproof. Writing, art, and the videos. My little corner of cyberspace. Make sure to do that. And go there and share it. So anyway, I'm open for all topics to speak on. There's not a topic out there that I will not address. Now, if it's something of a technical or some type of area of expertise that you have to be well learned, I might not be able to do it. But you know what? Human nature, how we interact, how we deal, because I've pretty much been through everything in this life. And while my scars that I've caught, it's nothing that you can see on my body, but I've caught many scars in my heart. And they're healed, but they're still there. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's like a woman who may have stretch marks on her stomach from giving birth. I told a young lady years ago when I was a younger man, she was so ashamed of her stomach. Her stomach went back to the normal size, but I told her, I said, those are badges of honor. You're such a wonderful mother, and you brought life into this world. Those are beauty marks. I'm not saying walk around with your stomach out, even if you had no marks. I mean, that, doesn't make any sense, but do not be ashamed of that. That is a natural process. You are beautiful. And every line in your stomach is beautiful. It's divine, part of the process. Does a tree feel embarrassed when you chop it and you see the rings in the tree? You know that's how you can tell how old the tree is. I'm not saying to chop a black woman down, but I'm just saying when you chop that tree down, for whatever reason, we shouldn't be doing it, but for some time it's for construction, you do it. Then you got to plant 5 more for that one tree that you chopped down. You'll see rings, and you count the rings, and you see 45 rings or 92 rings or 157 rings. You know that's how old the tree is, what it's been through. And it tells a history. You see some thicker lines? Boy, it rained a lot, and that tree grew. You see thin lines, and you count it back from the outer ring, which is the present, back to that time, and you can say, you know what, 57 years ago, it was a lot of rain in that particular summer. It tells. And this is why our music, when it's hijacked and we suck on the wrong nipple, the beats sound good, but the lyrics are poison and placed in there by these wicked writers at the order of the people and corporations who took it over. Well, look what we become. It was inevitable. See? So let's take control over our future and what affects our brains, and if it's no good, it must be rejected. Anyway, I don't really want to go. There's so much inside of me that I'm inspired to speak on. I can sit here and talk for the next 10 hours, but we'll save it for tomorrow. Thank you all for being here. Don't forget LanceScurvX.com and let me know what you want to talk about, and I'll be glad to do so. Much love to you all. I'm going to rest now, and we'll speak shortly because we're going to be on it this week. Peace.